Hare Krishna. Let's do Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Giravardhari. Jai Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Giravardhari. Shodanandana Rajjana Randana, Shodanandana Rajjana Randana, Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shlakya Chakshurunmiltam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutle Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathamritam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sut Devi Paran Mami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpato Brihascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukham Kroti Vachalam, Pangum Langyate Garim, Yat Kirpatam Vande Shri Gurun Din Taranam, Paramanandamadam Shri Taneshwar Mariam Tassat, Narayan Namaskritya, Naram Cheva Naruttamam, Devim Sasvit Vyasam Tato Jamadhuriyat, Nashta Pareshu Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā, Bhagavati Uttam Shlokim Bhakti Bhavati Neshtiki. Okay, thank you for joining. And last time we were talking about following Dharma, following regulations, and the importance of regulations. The Dharma in the form of bull was asking Earth, Mother Earth in the form of a cow. You know, he's asked me so many questions that why are you feeling like this? Why so weak and frail? What is wrong? And the cow says, okay, you have asked me so many questions. I will answer all your questions in due time. So we'll continue From there, stop sharing this and go on to verse 26 to 30 are together. And the qualities of the Lord are described here, which are actually unlimited, but some are given. Satyam, Shocham, Daya, Shantis, Tyagha, Santosh, Ajavam, Shamo, Damas, Tapha, Samyam, Titiksho, Pratihi, Shrutam, Jnana, Virakti, Aishvaryam, Shoryam, Tejo, Balam, Smriti, Swatantriyam, Kushalam, Kanti, Dhairyam, Mardavam, Evacha, Praglabhyam, Prasharya, Shilam, Saha, Ojo, Balam, Bhagha, Gambhiryam, Sthairyam, Astikyam, Kirtir, Mano, Nana, Karitihi, Ete Chanye Cha Bhagwan, Nitya Yatra Mahaguna, Prathya Mahatav Ishadabir, Naviyanti Samkarhichit, Tena Ham Gun Patrena, Shri Nivasena Sampratam, Sochamir Rahitam Lokam, Papmana Kalinekshitam. So, Satyam is truthfulness, Socham cleanliness, Daya intolerance of others' unhappiness, Shanti self-control, even if there is a cause of anger. So Shanti is not just like you're peaceful, it's like being peaceful when provoked as well. Tyaga, magnanimity, Santosha, self-satisfaction, Ajamam, straightforwardness, Shama, fixing of the mind, Dama, control of the sense organs, Tapha, trueness to one's responsibility, Samyam, indiscrimination between friend and foe, Tatiksha, tolerance of the offences of others, Upratehi, indifference to loss and gain, Shrutam, following scriptural injunctions, Jnanam, knowledge, self-realization, Viraktehi, detachment from sense enjoyment, Aishwaryam, leadership, Shoryam, chivalry, Teja, influence, Balam, to render possible that which is impossible, Smritihi, to find one's proper duty, Svantantriyam, not to be dependent on others, Koshalam, dexterity in all activities, Kantihi, beauty, Dhairyam, freedom from disturbance, Mardavam, kind-heartedness, Evathas, cha also, Pragalabhyam, ingenuity, Prasharya, gentility, Shilam, mannerliness, Saha, determination, Ojha, perfect knowledge, Balam, proper execution, Bhagha, object of enjoyment, Gambhiram, joyfulness, Sthairyam, immobility, Astikam, faithfulness, Kirtihi, fame, Mana, worthy of being worshipped, Anhakritihi, pridelessness, Ete, all these, Chaine, also many others, Cha and Bhagwan, the personal Godhead, Nitya, everlasting, Yatrave, Mahaguna, great qualities, Pratyaha, worthy to possess, Matav, greatness, Icha, the Bihi, those who desire so, Na, never, Vyanti, deteriorates, Sama, ever, Kadhichit, at any time, Tena, by him, Aham, myself, Guna, Patrena, the reservoir of all qualities, the goddess of fortune, Shri, Nivasena, by the resting place, Sampratam, very recently, Sochami, I'm thinking of, Rahitam, bereft of, Lokam, planets, Papmana, by the store of all sins, Kalina, by Kali, Ikshitam, is seen. So how many of us can claim to have all these qualities and in an unlimited form as well? In him reside truthfulness, cleanliness, intolerance of another's unhappiness, the power to control anger, self-satisfaction, straightforwardness, steadiness of mind, control of the sense organs, responsibility, equality, tolerance, equanimity, faithfulness, knowledge, absence of sense enjoyment, leadership, chivalry, influence, the power to make everything possible, the discharge of proper duty, complete independence, dexterity, fullness of all beauty, serenity, kind-heartedness, ingenuity, gentility, magnanimity, determination, perfection in all knowledge, proper execution, possession of all objects of enjoyment, joyfulness, immobility, fidelity, fame, worship, pridelessness, being as a personal Godhead, eternity, and many other transcendental qualities which are eternally present and never to be separated from Him. That personal Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Sri Krishna, has now closed His transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. So any quality we do have in a minute form, we won't have all of them, but we have any, they all come from Krishna. Because He has them, then we have them. In His absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. So Srila Prabhupada explains that even if it were possible to count the atoms after smashing the earth into powder, still it would not be possible to estimate the unfathomable transcendental qualities of the Lord. It is said that Lord Anantadev has tried to expound the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord with his numberless tongues, and that for numberless years together it has been impossible to estimate the qualities of the Lord. The above statement of the quality of the Lord is just to estimate His quality as far as human beings is able to see Him. So now the qualities that we know about, this is the thing. You think, how can it take so long to mention these qualities? But there's a lot of stuff we don't know. So just the ones we relate with are mentioned. But even if it is so, the above qualities can be divided into many subheadings as well. So according to Jiva Goswami, the third quality, intolerance of another's unhappiness, can be divided into protection of the stranded souls and well wishes for the devotees. In the Bhagavad-Gita, the Lord states that He wants every soul to surrender unto Him only. And He assures everyone that if one does so, He will give protection from the reactions of all sins. Unsurrendered souls are not devotees of the Lord, and thus there is no particular protection for everyone in general. So the devotee has all good wishes, and for those who are actually engaged in loving service to the Lord, He gives particular attention. That's the difference. He gives direction to such pure devotees to help them discharge their responsibility on the path back to Godhead. By equality, the Lord is equally kind to everyone, as the sun is equal in distributing its rays over everyone. Yet, there are many who are unable to take advantage of the sun's rays. So, if you want to take advantage of the sun's rays, you have to come out into the sun, right? If you stay inside and complain that I'm not getting the sun, I'm not getting my vitamin D, well, it's not the sun's fault. You have to be in the sun to make use of it. As the sun is equal in distributing its rays over everyone, yet there are many who are unable to take advantage of the sun's rays. Similarly, the Lord says that surrendering unto Him is a guarantee for all protection from Him. But unfortunate persons are unable to accept this proposition, and therefore they suffer from all material miseries. So even though the Lord is equally well-wishing to everyone, the unfortunate living being, due to bad association only, is unable to accept His instructions in toto. And for this, the Lord is never to be blamed. So we have free will, we have choice. So the Lord has some conditions, which is like to surrender to Him, and there's like ways to surrender to Him. There's a process. So if you don't surrender, then how can He help you? He is called the well-wisher for the devotees only. He appears to be partial to his devotees, but factually the matter rests on the living being to accept or reject equal treatment by the Lord. So, you have to make the effort. The Lord never deviates from his word of honor. When he gives assurance for protection, the promise is executed in all circumstances. It is the duty of the pure devotee to be fixed in the discharge of the duty entrusted to him by the Lord or the Lord's bona fide representative, the spiritual master. The rest is carried out by the Lord without a break. So, just speaking earlier that just like we were discussing about the gopis, that Krishna gives his mercy to everyone, but he still has a system that he works in. So you have to go by that system. If you don't go by the system, then there's nothing he can do for you. He can't help you. So you have to follow the instructions, and you have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. When Krishna is not there face to face, you have to follow the instructions of the spiritual master, because he is bona fide representative. So the responsibility of the Lord is also unique. The Lord has no responsibility because all his work is done by his different appointed energies. But still he accepts voluntary responsibilities in displaying different roles in his transcendental pastimes. As a boy, he was playing the part of a cowboy. As the son of Nanda Maharaj, he discharged responsibility perfectly. Similarly, when he was playing the part of a Kshatriya as the son of Maharaj Vasudev, he displayed all the skill of a martially spirited Kshatriya. In almost all cases, the Kshatriya king has to secure a wife by fighting or kidnapping. So he has to show his prowess that is worthy of the princess. This sort of behavior for a Kshatriya is praiseworthy in the sense that a Kshatriya must show his power of chivalry to his would-be wife so that the daughter of a Kshatriya can see the valor of her would-be husband. Even the personality of Godhead Sri Ram displays such a spirit of chivalry during his marriage. He broke the strongest bow called Hardhanur and achieved the hand of Sita Devi, the mother of all opulence. The Kshatriya spirit is displayed during marriage festivals, and there is nothing wrong in such fighting. Lord Shri Krishna discharged such responsibility fully because although he had more than 16,000 wives, in each and every case he fought like a chivalrous Kshatriya and thus secured a wife. To fight 16,000 times, to secure 16,000 wives is certainly possible only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, he displayed full responsibility in every action of his different transcendental pastimes. And then it says the 14th quality, knowledge. So each quality explained, how can we claim, or how can someone claim that they have this quality? How can the Lord have that quality? And then the pastimes and the reasons are given why, we can for sure say that Lord has that quality because he has shown those qualities in his pastimes. The 14th quality, knowledge, can be further extended into 5 subheadings, namely intelligence, gratefulness, power of understanding the circumstantial environments of place, object and time, perfect knowledge of everything and knowledge of the self. So only fools are ungrateful to their benefactors. The Lord, however, does not require benefit from anyone besides himself because he is full in himself. Still, he feels benefited by the unalloyed service of his devotees. The Lord feels grateful to his devotees for such unsophisticated, unconditional service and tries to reciprocate it by rendering service. Although the devotee also has no such desire in his heart. So the devotee is not looking for reciprocation. He just wants to please the Lord. Just like the gopis, they just want to please the Lord, want to make him happy at any cost. And Krishna says, in fact, that he can't even repay them. They do so much for him. He doesn't have the capacity, although he's unlimited. He said he doesn't have the capacity, he doesn't have the words to repay them. The transcendental service of the Lord is itself a transcendental benefit for the devotee. So it's an automatic benefit anyway, even if the Lord doesn't do anything. And therefore the devotee has nothing to expect from the Lord, because it's auspicious as it is. On the assertion of the Vedic aphorism, Sarvam Khalaf Idam Brahma, we can understand that the Lord, by the omnipresent rays of his effulgence called Brahm Jyoti, is all-pervading inside or outside of everything, like the omnipresent material sky, and thus he is also omniscient. So as far as the beauty of the Lord is concerned, so that's another quality. He has some special features that distinguish him from all other living beings. And above that, he has some special attractive, beautiful features by which he attracts the mind of your Radharani, the supermost beautiful creation of the Lord. He is known therefore as Madan Mohan, or one who attracts the mind of even Cupid. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has scrutinizingly analyzed all the transcendental qualities of the Lord and affirms that Lord Sri Krishna is the absolute supreme personality Godhead, Pa Brahman. He is omnipotent by his inconceivable energies, and therefore he is Yogeshwar, or the supreme master of mystic powers. He is the master of illusion, because everything that's not connected with Krishna is illusion. And who created that? Krishna himself. He has created illusion all around us. Being Yogeshwara, he is eternal for his spiritual, a combination of eternity, bliss and knowledge. The non-devotee class cannot understand the dynamic nature of his knowledge because they are satisfied to reach up to his eternal form of knowledge. All great souls aspire to be equal in knowledge with him. This means that all other knowledge is ever insufficient, flexible and measurable, whereas the knowledge of the Lord is ever fixed and unfathomable. Srila Sutta Goswami affirms in the Bhagavatam that although he was observed by citizens of Dwarka every day, so this is Lord Krishna, they were ever increasingly anxious to see him again and again. The living beings can appreciate the qualities of the Lord as the ultimate goal, but they cannot attain the status quo of such equality. This material world is a product of the Mahat Tattva, so the material energy, which is a state of the Lord's dreaming condition in his Yoga Nindra, mystic slumber in the causal ocean. So that's Mahavishnu. This whole material world is, and everything going on, is the dream of Mahavishnu, or considered the dream of Mahavishnu. He's dreaming in his slumber. It's a state of the Lord's dreaming condition in his Yoga Nindra, mystic slumber in the causal ocean. And yet, the whole creation appears to be a factual presentation of his creation. This means that the Lord's dreaming conditions are also factual manifestations. Not like our dreams, they just fizzle out when we wake up. He can therefore bring everything under his transcendental control, and thus whenever and wherever he does appear, he does so in his fullness. The Lord, being all that he described above, maintains the affairs of the creation, and by his so doing, he gives salvation even to his enemies who are killed by him. He is attractive even to the topmost liberated soul, and thus he is worshipable even by Brahma and Shiva, the greatest of all demigods. Even in his incarnation of Purushavatar, he is the Lord of the creative energy. The creative material energy is working under his direction, as confirmed in the Bhagavad-Gita 9.10. He is the control switch of the material energy in all the universes. There are more than 500,000 incarnations of Manu in one universe only, besides others incarnations in different universes. In the spiritual world, However, beyond the Mahatattva, there is no question of incarnations, but there are plenary expansions of the Lord in different Vaikunthas. So you have different Narayans, different Vishnus who controlling each of the Vaikuntha planets. The planets in the spiritual sky are at least 3 times the number of those within the innumerable universes in the Mahatattva. So we are only 1/4. Material world is only 1/4 of the spiritual world. So you can imagine, we can't even imagine what this one universe, which is the smallest of universes, which has Brahma with only 4 heads, and there are much bigger Brahmas, there are much bigger universes, and there's unlimited universes, and then that is still 1/4 of what is there in the spiritual world. And these universes can't be measured, and definitely we can't measure the spiritual world. But scriptures tell us that's how it is, that we're still 1/3, even though there's no ruler or a system to measure them. The planets in the spiritual sky are at least 3 times the number of those within the innumerable universe in the Mahatattva. And all the Narayan forms of the Lord are but expansions of his Vasudev feature. And thus he is Vasudev, Narayan, and Krishna simultaneously. He is Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari, He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. So all in one, his qualities therefore cannot be counted by anyone, however great one may be. Because we are limited, our capacity of thinking is limited, our intelligence is limited. How can the limited know the quality of the unlimited? We cannot know. And they're forever increasing as well. Krishna is forever increasing. We cannot keep up with him. So this is amazing. So this is 26. So it's mentioned, why wouldn't anyone surrender to Krishna? He has all the qualities as we just discussed. Our spiritual strength, he can do anything. Krishna is not telling us to surrender because he needs us. He's not asking for our help, or please surrender to me because we want to do this or that. No. Even though Krishna is telling us to surrender because he needs us, even though millions of souls have left Krishna, actually unlimited souls have left Krishna in this. That's why we are in the material world. Most of them have left Krishna. He still has unlimited servants in the spiritual world. So we are the ones missing out. So Krishna doesn't need anything. He doesn't need anyone. He needs nothing for anyone. If he's telling us to do something in the scriptures or through his representatives, he's doing for our own benefit, right? Because he has these qualities. He wants to help us. He has like unlimited tolerance. He tolerated us birth after birth, janam after janam, and he's still tolerating, and he's willing to still. His doors are always open. He said like, by this time, if you don't sort yourself out, that's it. You're out. The doors are always open, but it's up to us whether we walk through them or not. And he has given us the procedure, what we need to follow to get to him. So let's do 31. Atmanam sanu shochami bhavantam chamaratam urattamam devan pitran shin sadun sarvan varnam tatha sharaman. So Atmanam, myself, cha also, anu shochami, lamenting, bhavantam, yourself, cha, as well as amar uttamam, the best amongst the demigods, devan, about the demigods, pitran, about the denizens of the Pitalok planet, rishin, about the sages, sadhun, about the devotees, sarvan, all of them, varnan, sections, tatha, as also ashraman, orders of the human society. So I'm thinking about myself and also of best amongst the demigods, about you as well as about all the demigods, sages, denizens of Pitalok, devotees of the Lord, and all men obedient to the system of Varna and Ashrama in human society. So to affect the perfection of human life, there is cooperation between men and demigods, sages, denizens of the Pitalok, devotees of the Lord, and the scientific system of Varna and Ashram orders of life. The distinction between human life and animal life therefore begins with the scientific system of Varna and Ashrama, guided by the experience of the sages in relation with the demigods, gradually rising to the summit of re-establishing our eternal relation with the Supreme Personality, with absolute truth, Supreme Absolute Truth, the Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. When God made Varnashrama Dharma, which is strictly meant for developing animal consciousness, into human consciousness, and human consciousness into godly consciousness, is broken by advancement of foolishness, the whole system of peaceful and progressive life is at once disturbed. So these four varnas and ashramas are created by the Lord, and as is mentioned here, to bring us from the animal life system to the human life system and bring us towards Krishna. That is not the ultimate goal. As Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Rai, and he started, now this is just like the foundation, the Varnashrama Dharma system. The real goal is to get to devotional service to the Lord. That is the highest point. But you must start, you start with Varnashrama Dharma. And he explains further, the whole system of peaceful and progressive life is at once disturbed. In the age of Kali, the first attack of the venomous snake strikes against the God-made Varnashrama Dharma, and thus a person properly qualified as a Brahman is now called a Shudra. And a Shudra, by qualification, is passing or pretending to be a Brahman, all on a false birthright claim. So this is why the Vedas, the Shastra don't accept the birthright, because it's not about the which family you're born in, it's about your consciousness. So someone born in a Brahma family could have the consciousness of a Shudra, which we have seen, right? They're born into Brahma family, but they're doing all the negative things of you expect from a Shudra. And whereas we might get a Shudra, we have seen many cases. There's many devotees have come up. They were their background was from a very low, low in as considered the classification in a low class family, but they come out as the highest devotees of the Lord. So nothing to do with your birthright. To become a Brahman by a birthright claim is not at all bona fide, although it may be fulfillment of one of the conditions. But the real qualification of a Brahman is to control the mind and the senses, and to cultivate tolerance, simplicity, cleanliness, knowledge, truthfulness, devotion, faith in the Vedic system. That's what makes a Brahman, if you have those qualities. So it's the qualities that make it the man, not the birthright. And to cultivate tolerance, simplicity, cleanliness, knowledge, truthfulness, devotion, faith in the Vedic system, in the present age, consideration of the necessary qualification is being neglected, and the false birthright claim is being supported even by a popular, sophisticated poet, the author of Ram Charitmanas. This is all due to the influence of the age of Kali. Thus, Mother Earth, represented as a cow, was lamenting the regrettable condition. So the bull, Dharma in the form of bull, has been asking all these questions. Why are you in this lamenting form? And now Mother Cow has been explaining to him, look, this is what's going on, and I'm sure you know about it, because you know your Dharma, you know that now you only have one leg left because Dharma is diminishing as well. and she explaining that, look, this is what's going on. So one ashma system is created by Krishna. It's meant to help those coming from animal type of consciousness to become human beings and to evolve spiritually, to reestablish our relationship with Krishna. So it's a system to do our duty according to our propensity. You do that because you'll do it well and you'll do it without pride. But now, in the Kali Yuga, there is no one ashram dharma. We're just doing what we can. We're trying to make a living any which way we can. But we can certainly use Devi Vanashma Dharma in the temple. We can use our qualities in the temple, whatever we are good at, whether we are a Vaishya type or a Brahmanical type or a Kshatriya type or a Shudra type of person. We can offer our services accordingly, because there's also all services there in the temple. And in fact, we can do all four. This is the beauty of Devi Varnashma Dharma, that we can do all the qualities. We can give a class which is Brahmanical. We can go on book distribution, which is like Vaishya. We can do administration, management in the temple, help in management, and that's Kshatriya. We can clean the temple, right? Clean the parts, which may be considered Shudra, but all jobs are equal. You can do all kinds of tasks. When you do for the Lord, they're all equal. So in fact, you follow all. Nowadays, you can do all the tasks of the Vanashma Dharma, and then you have the different ashrams anyway, the grastas and the brahmachari, grasta, and then you take. We're not obviously looking to follow any further than the grasta, because we stay in the grasta life and inspire others as suggested by Lord Chaitanya, that we stay in our varnashrama as grastas, and not take sannyas or anything like that. So that's basically it on this. So we'll have one more session on Monday, and Wednesday we can have an overview. So no class on Wednesday morning. Wednesday evening we will have the we'll have the review on this or overview on this chapter 16, and then I think there's like 3 more chapters left, and canto 1 is complete, and then we go on to canto 2. So, and it will be really wonderful class. Please join on the evenings. Now you will learn a lot, and also it's a respect to the speaker as well if people turn up, and they're giving their time and their knowledge, and they, you can have a good listener, but you can have a good speaker, but if even the best speaker now good if there is no one to listen to them, right? Even God, there's no God if there's no devotees. What good is God if nobody following him? So God, in that way, he needs us. He needs people. He needs devotees, because if a king of a kingdom, if there's no citizens, well, he's just sitting there on his own, on his throne, and he can't give any orders or discuss anything with everyone. So what use would be the king? So in that way, Krishna, he needs his devotees as well, because we make him, by worship we make him God. Otherwise, what would God be on his own? He needs people. So like that. So a speaker can speak really well, but he needs people to listen to him as well, and there has to be somebody listening. There's a two-way scenario. So yeah, please join. Anyway, let's stop here. Okay. So, okay, let's see what we have. Right, I think Hina Mataji is driving today. She messaged, so she can't talk right now. So we go straight on to Kiran Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhuji, I think you're on mute.
Sorry, who did you ask?
Yeah, yourself, Prabhu.
Okay, sorry. I only half heard it. What can you say? All the divine godly qualities have been highlighted, and it illustrates that even if all those godly qualities or characteristics were ground down to its elements of atoms, molecules, protons, and electrons, we wouldn't even have one little atom that is what the divine is. Those qualities of tolerance, patience, detachment, indifference, truthfulness, leadership, the list is endless. And what this gives us is a set of values to aspire to. And that should be our journey, because God's saying, look, I've got these values, these qualities. All you have to do is make an effort to align with those. You don't have to be the ultimate proprietor of those values and characteristics, but just make an effort to enshrine them in your life. And hence, that will give us the ability to move well along that pathway. And this gives us that direction, working towards the ultimate aim. And within the Vedas, within the Shastras, within those divine wisdom, are given those regulations and values and directions. And that's what we have to comply to and apply. And within it, it's indicated that liberation is possible. And liberation was possible even to the demons, because implicit within their desire and their hatred for Krishna, they were thinking of them constantly. Their minds, their energies, their remembrance, their hearing, their thinking was focused on the elimination of divinity, and ultimately their final face-to-face interaction was with the divine. And that was the last image, and hence they got liberated. So imagine what's possible, that we have been given this list to aspire to, and we have the opportunity to work within the mode of goodness as opposed to the modes of ignorance and passion. Devotion and service is all that the divine requires. 400,000 human conscious life forms. They're the league table of consciousness development. And we have to aspire to the Premier League of developing that consciousness. And that consciousness is what will give us those higher qualities, immaterial of your birthrights, immaterial of whether you're born a Chandala or whether you're born a Brahmin. And the depths of Shastra and what's enshrined in it is amazing. If the world was able to have a glimpse of this, we won't have the difficulties that exist in society today. We're so privileged to be a part of this wisdom that breeds. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, Praveen Mataji. Oh, sorry, sorry, I just seen you. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll go to Acharya, Prabhu then.
That's Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, it's always important to remember that Krishna is Atmaram. He doesn't actually need anything as such, but it is out of his love for us, his desire, it's his generosity in that sense that he's willing to not only tolerate us, but it actually maintains us. He created everything for us, his pastimes, his interactions. It's because he wants to share his love. He doesn't need us. He's so caring that he wants to show his love for us. He wants to, is this, it's that concept of the way to increase love is by sharing it. He's very kind that way. And but there's no partiality as well as explaining the verses that the reason he focuses more on his devotees is because they focus more on him. If there's that free will aspect that if you want to increase your relationship with Krishna, then you need to interact with Krishna. You need to actually develop that relationship. Krishna will maintain you, but that doesn't mean he has to go above and beyond if you're not willing to actually sustain the real relationship. If you're just happy to do your own thing in the material world, then you're allowed to do so. And unfortunately, many beings are, at least with the animals and lower species, they are not conscious of what's going on with us. So they are at least not as reprimandable because they are the lower consciousness. For the humans, though, it is sad that there's too much. It has increased in recent times, to be fair, but there's still that sense that tend to ignore what the real solution is as opposed to looking for temporary measures. Still, you do see people going to, religious functions, and like say, they go to mandirs. I think people are understanding now that things are not right in this world, and they're looking for a solution. Now, how far they take is up to them, because sometimes they're just happy to just visit a mandir, for example, and just use taking darshan and that's it. They're actually willing to understand what's all about. It's not just we do a puja and leave it at that. Go beyond karma count. Yet, if people are moving in the right direction, then they might have the good fortune where they meet a devotee. They can maybe get a book, or maybe just somebody explains something to them. They might just chant around something. It sounds simple enough, but that's all it takes to instigate devotional service with them. So that's something that we as devotees, we always have to be mindful that we can provide real benefit to somebody's life without having to do that much. Really, to make real progress, it can take a lot of work. Prabhupada's explained like a gallon of blood it takes to make a bona fide devotee, shall we say. Yet, if you can be a real benefit to someone just by sparking that bhakti in them, just give them something to be interested in, and then Krishna will take care of the rest because Krishna will inspire that person. Once they get that taste for bhakti, then they can really push on with their lives, and you never know with them. They might really take to it. They might even go back to Godhead in this particular life. And then that's a wonderful thing to think that you've helped somebody in their spiritual journey. That's something I think we should always be mindful of whenever we're in our own devotional lives, whenever we might be feeling down or thinking we can't do it, are we not helping enough? Then sometimes all it takes a few small efforts on our part and we can be of real benefit to somebody else. And that's Prabhupada's mercy there, that we can help spread the mercy of his and the Guru Parampara. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. And the one thing also that when you go to temple or a congregation, they can the management can put all the things in place, best kirtans, best class, best prashadam, best deity service, but ultimately you look at the behavior of the management, of the other people, the seniors, how they behave. I think that is very, very important. How their consciousness is, how they respond to things, how they respond to each other, how they interact. These things like very important. So yeah, everyone is trying to do something for Lord Chaitanya, for Srila Prabhupada, for Lord Krishna. So, but at the same time, we can do the managerial side of things, but we have to be consciously in good behavior with each other and with the newcomers. Very important. So it's such all this is like so responsible job. One little wrong move, and you can people can be put off by bhakti, by the organization that they're trying to join, whether it is Iskcon or anywhere else. So it's we have a big responsibility, and we do commit mistakes, but we still be mindful of committing as less mistakes as possible, not only for ourselves, but we should take responsibility for other people as well, that we can help them, at least as far as we're concerned. We do our best. Rest is how they understand or decode things or behaviors. Then that's up to them and Krishna. We can only do so much ourselves to help them. The rest is to their consciousness, how they sort of interpret things. But yeah, we should do our best. Radharani?
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, the symptoms of Kali, it is that it's like slow poison. All the value system has been slowly degrading in every society, and it's come down to individuals now, because the individuals, they make up the society, and with the association of the Lord, one can sustain the good qualities, the good values. They come from the Lord. Like there was a saying few days ago on Iskcon Vrindavan YouTube channel. They every day share a saying by Srila Prabhupada. It was that the rascaldom in the humans also comes from Krishna, because Krishna sometimes has got the the show of the playful qualities and something, but that has become really, really bad because of Kali Yuga. That rascaldom has become, I would say, become like negative qualities in people, and people are less tolerant, and one little thing done wrong by one person is remembered sometimes, and this is how the world is, this is how the society is getting up to, all because of Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga has started to show its colors properly. It was always there, but it is getting more and more as the time progresses. And it's nice when we see some good qualities in some society or some persons around us. It makes us feel good, because this is actually the nature of our soul. And one more point I wanted to say was that when there is cooperation between all the entities, up to the level of the demigods, because demigods are also living entities like us. They're not God. They are also living entities with the higher karma, with higher gifts, higher gifted lives, that they're more pious entities than us humans. They are more powerful, and they are given special roles. So then when there is cooperation between all the living entities up to the level of demigods, then the society is happy, then everybody is happy. And this is what Krishna consciousness teaches us, to be cooperative with between everyone at all levels, and put your personal differences aside. And if everybody was following the values of Krishna consciousness even a little bit, or trying to, the world will become really good. But it is said that this is the age of Sankirtan Yajna, Sankirtan movement. The golden age has begun. So there's hope that things will settle down, and we will be moving into the better time, where we can do our bhakti, and where we can live more peacefully and more in harmony. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks so much. Yeah, so Krishna consciousness not just about going through the processes of just chanting and doing some services, cooking or something, or just coming to the program, it's also, imbibing the qualities that we just mentioned from Lord Krishna, even, those qualities even on a minute level. So yeah, so we've got to work on those qualities of patience and tolerance, like that as well, and embracing everyone nicely, and not no envy, jealousy, pride, lust, all these things we have to avoid to progress. So just coming is just the beginning. Then we have to build those qualities, these anarthas we have to get rid of to if you want taste, if you want ruchi. If you're not getting ruchi, then obviously we're doing some things wrong, because the chanting should be offenseless. Until it's offenseless, you will not get the taste. So thank you so much. And
Yeah, Prabhuji, sorry, I'm still out, but I'll just, thank you. Very nice class.
thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, well, it might be a bit noisy, but I'll be very quick. Yes, Krishna's got unlimited qualities. And then I was listening to Nityaseni Mataji's class, and she said, when we listen, then we imbibe those qualities. So more we listen to Acharyas and the pastimes of the Lord, we will get those qualities. And like we're saying, we are in Kali Yuga, but if we follow Lord Chaitanya's instructions and do the Sankirtan Yaga, then we are in a spiritual world, and we can change. And all we need is empowered leaders, like you said. It's up to the leaders, in our congregations. So when we have empowered leaders, we can change this, and it doesn't really affect what's happening outside, and we are still enjoying the bliss. Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, everybody has to, when new people come, we just just show them that what this mission is all about, and how how we're different to people outside, to the karmi people, how it changes us. If there's no difference, then they say, well, sometimes think, well, we're better off outside. The people are better behaved. So it's a big responsibility. With power comes responsibility. So it's all responsibility, not just the management, but people who have been there for a number of years. They have to show that we have gained something from these teachings, right? From this congregation, we have we learned something, we have improved. So people get tempted. Yeah, I want to be like this. I want to change. I want to be better. So like that. So they have to see the change, before becoming the change themselves. So thank you all, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanand Hari Bol. We'll catch up on Monday. Hare Krishna, everyone.